Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for me to rant a little bit. I'm really frustrated. I'm pretty angry about this, honestly, about players effectively being scammed out of gold knowingly by Blizzard for, well, almost 2 weeks now. And it's just unacceptable how long this has taken to fix. And we're going to get into that, what's going on, what you should be aware of, just to make sure you don't lose out on gold and rewards and all of that. And as a reminder, if you do enjoy our content, you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit the subscribe button down below, give the video a like. It helps out a ton. We are so close to 62K. It would be a really awesome early Christmas gift if we could hit that. So yes, what am I talking about in terms of players being scammed out of gold? Well, it's all about balance in Hearthstone. We know when new expansions comes out, things are typically horribly imbalanced. If you look at standard ladder, it actually looks relatively balanced, right? You got a bunch of classes doing well, some not so well. Of course, Warrior, Deathlight, we've talked about that ad nauseum, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about Wild, where you have one class being absolutely dominant. Surprisingly, Mage and Shaman have moved up slightly above 50%, but the format's an absolute dumpster fire, and I expect to see some kind of changes being made in the upcoming balance patch. And hell, I'm not even talking about Duels, which again, really unbalanced at the moment. Warlock with discard Warlock, just like Wild, being absolutely out of control in the format, and the new Deathlight heroes, basically if you combine it with Bitter Cold passive plus 2 frost damage, just busted. I've already gone 12-0 with one of the heroes with that already, but Duels, at least there is a free mode in it, right? You have the casual Duels mode. You don't have to pay an entry fee, anything like that. So if you play the mode, you don't have to risk anything. The one that is just, to me, unacceptable is the arena. The arena is the most imbalanced of all the modes by so much, it's ridiculous. Death Knight being the only class, well, above 60%, almost the only class above 50%, at 62.3%, over, or basically exactly 30% more win rate than the worst class in Warrior. Think about that. That's almost double. And the problem I have with this is not only is this like, well, just horribly imbalanced, but this is a paid format. The only way to play the arena is to spend 150 gold or use runestones, which you have to buy with money. You have to put up resources to enter this mode. And well, when only 2 of the classes have even a plus 50% win rate and 4 of them have sub 30, all of a sudden you are effectively on average scamming people who are entering, because by the time you hit any moderate win count, you're going to be facing these classes. They're the ones that are going to get through on average, and you are going to get stomped. It's tons of stories, whether it be on Reddit or Twitter. We have Croak here saying, very first Deathlight arena, instant 12. Yeah, Deathlight is too strong. Making it weaker would involve them getting close to no class cards, since they have no older weak sets. It's one of the problems. They're offered a lot of class cards, and they're all really good. You don't get old expansion cards that suck. That's a lot of the other classes are offered all these old cards that just suck. None of the Deathlight cards really suck outside of like a very small amount. You can get a bad Deathlight run, by the way. I went like 4-3. I had a 1-3. You can get a bad Deathlight deck. That's not out of the ordinary, but I've also had a 12-0, a 12-1. I've had a 12-2, another 12-2. It's just ridiculous, and you're just losing to other Deathlights. Like your runs typically end to other Deathlights or just a really good Paladin deck. But regardless, his suggestion is buffing all the other classes card quality to make it more interesting. That's what I do too. They never do that. I'll say what's gonna happen when they do fix it, because I do think it'll get fixed, but this timeline is unacceptable. The fact that it'll be probably 2 weeks by the time this happens is ridiculous. And Judge here put out a really solid tweet about it, saying this should be a refund. This should straight up be a refund. He's showing this picture of the 3 classes he was offered. These are their win rates according to HS Replay. Warrior 31, I mean, it's changing per whatever when he took this, but 31, 33, 36, right? Like, absolutely terrible. You're never getting your gold back. You're basically guaranteed a loss unless you get the high roll of your life. And he said, yes, those are the class win rates, and these aren't even the bottom 3 classes haven't been able to escape this nonsense all week. Judges at Arena, Hearthstone content creator. And unlike me, I have 14,000 gold sitting around. I've been re-rolling for Deathlight over and over just to, you know, get the Deathlight wins because we're trying to get 500 as fast as possible. I'm doing Arena and Duels. So that's what I've given them so much gold over this event, just like, well, every player really, to re-roll. He said changes are likely coming soon, but this existing for weeks is disrespectful and unacceptable. And that's exactly how I feel. That how can this happen? Matt London, who is okay, and by the way, I'm mentioning Matt. Do not go and flame him. Do not go and harass him. If he could fix this right now, I assure you he would. He is the modes lead design or modes leader. He's in charge of Arena and all this stuff. They have to get the approval to put patches through, to put updates through. This is not on him. Believe me that he's the messenger on. So just please don't go harass Matt. But this was the day the expansion came out. How's expansion treating everyone? Lich King and Arena, lore galore in the prologue. Who will be the first to 12 with Science Scarlet, the Duels heroes? And we know we've given feedback. Hell even quote retweeted me on December 12th when I got my 12-0, basically showing that I faced 10 other Death Knights on my road to 12-0. And he said, you know, kind of as a joke, oh, the class win rate stabilizes to 50% and problem solved. And in my tweet, I actually said, you can adjust the arena now and face the other one. Basically as a joke, like, I got my 12-0, you can update it. But I was expecting a hotfix to happen. Like, there was the hotfix the Friday of the expansion, right? Arena wasn't included. That was shocking to me, but I'm like, okay, well, the next week, surely we'll get a hotfix early on and they'll correct it. I thought maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, then nothing. Then Thursday came nothing. Then Friday, it's still nothing. And we're on the weekend. They don't work on the weekend. So they're not going to fix it until the patch happens either on the 20th, like we think, or unless we get surprised by a Monday patch. But regardless, that's 2 weeks after everything went live. And obviously they're aware of the situation. And it wasn't that long ago with the whole dual class arena event with Classic and all that. They showed the ability to fix things on the spot. They disabled the arena when Discover effects and certain things were not working. They literally disabled the arena and then put a hotfix out that fixed it and made it a lot better. That happened over a day or so process. That just happened. And now we're at this event or this time where at the win rates are the most unbalanced ever. Players are guaranteed to lose resources that it looks like a scam. It outright looks like it's almost intentional. We have hotfixes all the time. Typically there's a hotfix at least one a week, typically to upgrade Battlegrounds armor levels, and that hasn't happened. And I think to this community and also to players in general, because if you log into Hearthstone, it's not like this is communicated. If you're not in the know, you have no idea that Deathlight is the only good class outside of Paladin to pick. So players that play Arena are getting screwed, and the people that are like Arena regulars are getting screwed because they're probably aware of it and they're either avoiding it so they don't lose, or they're like me and they hoarded gold and like, screw it, let's abuse Deathlight while it's broken, right? So at the end of the day, I just think it's absolutely unacceptable that this has taken this long to fix. I feel like we've accepted the fact that stuff always comes out broken. You know, they're balance testing. They're obviously, they seem to do the best they can. I mean, they balanced Deathlight pretty well. They just forgot to balance everything else, as I saw a comment say in a video not so long ago. But the other modes, they can't really get that right at all. They got standard, not super right, but it's kind of close. I mean, a lot of the decks are blown, but regardless, you can see the effort, where the effort is made. The numbers look kind of reasonable, but where the effort, they can't really put the resources in, they're all broken. And the fact that they know it's probably going to be broken and they let it sit for multiple weeks, including the only paid format in the game, I think is unacceptable. And what change will happen? What do I think will happen? They'll do what they always do for every single class that's too good. They will make it so they don't draft class cards very often. You're going to be getting a lot of neutrals in Death Knight. I would like Croak said, ramp up all the other classes and make it a lot more fun, give them a lot of powerful stuff to do. But typically, you'll probably just see like Chill Fallen Baron, Plague Strike, and all these cards become a rarity, not in like 1.5 decks or 1.3 copies per deck, right? That's what's going to happen, and that can be done through a hotfix, but it'll probably happen on the patch that we're expecting, probably an announcement of tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, really crappy Blizzard. I'm really disappointed this took this long because you guys are usually a lot faster to update, especially Arena. Typically it's updated in a hotfix the first week, and I just don't understand what's happened here. I haven't tweeted about it, got no replies as per usual. None of the Arena content creators have, to be fair, and I think the devs' hands are tied. They're just not letting them put out a patch. They're like, no, Christmas is coming around, we're gonna be cheap and all that. I don't know. It sucks, and hopefully you guys are going to avoid it until they fix it, unless you want to try and get those Deathlight wins or achievements like I have. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.